Sandy was born in Sydney. The details are shown on the next picture. This has been kept for many years and doesn't really need any narration. Captain Neil Brodie was captain of the merchant ship. The Reverend Dill Mackey was moderator of the Presbyterian General Assembly of New South Wales. Dr. Alexander, a doctor of dentistry, and Mrs. Ellen Brodie, Sandy's father's parents, her grandparents. William George Augustus Fitzharding, Sandy's maternal great-great-grandfather, with his wife and 2 children, arrived in Sydney in 1838 on the ship the James Patterson. Sandy's maternal great-grandparents were Craven Hyde Fitzharding and his second wife Ada. He was the 5th son of W.G.A. Fitzharding and a solicitor in Dubbo. Sandy's other maternal great-grandparents were Alexander Binning Walker, who was born at Berrima in 1847, and his second wife, Emily. In 1870, as Constable Walker of the New South Wales Police, he apprehended and shot Thunderbolt, a notorious bushranger in northern New South Wales. He was awarded the Police Medal for Bravery, which is now in the Police Museum in Sydney. He retired as an Inspector of Police. Sandy's maternal grandparents were Cedric Fitzharding and his wife Gladys. Sandy's parents, Arthur and June, had 3 children. Sandy the eldest, Keith 2 years younger, and Elizabeth, Met the youngest, nearly 4 years younger. Arthur served in World War II. He enlisted in the AIF in Sydney on the 23rd of the 5th, 1941. His army number was NX19429. He was posted to signals. He embarked for the Middle East in the Queen Mary on the 3rd of the 9th, 1941. Served with Signals 9th Australian Division in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon and Egypt. Hospitalised back to Australia the 21st of the 1st, 1943. He served on the East Coast till discharged medically on the 12th of the 9th, 1945. Sandy's first home, Monero Balmoral, was an orchard in the Southern Highlands where she lived until she was about a year old. At 12 months, still not very much hair. Sandy with her friend Kimmy visiting the Cheltenham home of her grandmother. Taken in the front of the house in Kingsway, DY. This was a studio portrait taken of Sandy with her brother and sister in about 1954. Sandy won a scholarship to attend Skeggs Darlinghurst for her secondary schooling. The rock at the back of the house at Neutral Bay made a great background for a photo. Early days with Marty at the Woodlands home in Perth, WA. Cutting the cake after marrying Marty Stockwell in Perth in 1970. Sandy was very glad to see Sam and sing after driving all the way from Perth. Proud parents of Matthew Sean Stockwell, born the 5th of December 1976. Matt needed a little help to feed the lamb. Sandy with Marty and Matt on holidays in the snow country. Sandy and Marty dressed in their glad rags to go out in the Big P, with Matt saying goodbye. Sandy with Samuel Alexander Michael, born the 6th of July 1983, and his big brother Matt. Sandy and her boys visiting her parents at Lane Cove. Sam visiting his grandparents at Lane Cove when he was about a year old. Again dressed in their glad rags, but this time Sam has been added to the family. Sandy graduated in science at Macquarie University in 1987. As she was teaching and looking after her home and 2 children at the same time, she was to be congratulated. Sandy at Cape Otway Lighthouse on a trip to Victoria with her sister Mint. Sandy's eldest son, Matthew, at home. Sandy's youngest son, Sam. Sandy teaches science at Our Lady of Mercy College at Parramatta. She has been there for many years and is very popular with all her students. In full safety gear of goggles and apron, Sandy is teaching chemistry. With a group of her physics students in Lab 4, the lab in which she first taught in 1974. While staying with